morning, beloveds. Good morning. Good morning to those of you who are joining us on Facebook. This is indeed a difficult day. It has been a difficult week. We are suffering today, and there's no getting around that. Joy will come in the morning, but today we are suffering. We have lost several loved ones. We honored Linda Hart yesterday. We will honor Jim's wife, Virginia, in the coming weeks. And we will honor Joe Greenslade next Saturday. What happens when we lose someone is that we begin to ask questions, and particularly when it is unexpected. When we come to this age in our lives, we have suffered losses, and loss happens not just about death. Loss happens in many ways. The loss of friendships, the loss of a marriage, the loss of a place where you live and called home. But what makes death so difficult is the finality of it and the loss of hope. The loss of hope for tomorrow. Because we always think there is time. Even though we know that that is not true, we still have the hope of more. The hope of more love. The hope of more joy. The hope of seeing our loved one once again. And so we come here this morning to talk about, and I want to share with you that it is okay. That it is okay to be sad. That it is okay that we are grieving and in mourning right now. It is okay. When I lost my mother, we expected that. She had been ill for quite some time. And when we lost Linda, we expected that. She, in fact, invited that in. She'd been asking for a while when she was going to be able to go. She wanted that. And so we had time to prepare. We had time to do the things that we knew we wouldn't have when she wasn't with us. And we did those things. When my sister passed, unexpectedly, it was shocking. And it was tumultuous for many. Because the idea is there is nothing else we can do. But we have done enough. We have done enough. It is right, and it is holy, and it is sacred that we feel the way we feel, and that we grieve our loss, because they are worthy to be missed. They impacted our lives in a great way, in a mighty way, and they are worth our grief and our sorrow. So do not hide from that. Do not shirk from that. Joy will come in the morning, but today, we are sad. And we are sad because we loved, and because our loved ones loved us. Love is a risky business. Yeah? It is a risky business. We don't know how it's going to turn out. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if our loved one is going to, the thing that we love, whether they're going to love us back, right? Love is risky. We don't know how long it's going to last. We're always worried about, well, are they going to be here tomorrow? The next day. The next day. We are afraid to love because we don't know what's going to happen or whether it will cease once it does happen. What happens if it ceases? What happens then? We are afraid to love because we don't know whether we are worthy to be loved. Are we good enough to receive the love of others? And we know, of course, that we all have the love of God. But when we're talking about being on this place, in this plane, and having the love of others around us. When we heard the news about Joe in particular, I got so many emails, and I'm sure many of you have had so many emails about Joe. I look forward to hearing so many stories about him, and the last image that I have of Joe is him skipping down the middle of this aisle after having taken offering to Yamo Be There. He's just dancing because he was joyous. Because he was joyous. He was not afraid to love. Every one of us in here are loved by Joe. Every one of us in here. And that is why we mourn. I remember when I haven't been the minister here long, I've been here a little over a year. But when I first came, and I met with Joe, who was on the board here, and he said to me, you know, and he was really, I mean, he wasn't adamant, he wasn't insistent. He just dropped things on you. Right? Just dropped the little things on you. You know, I have this mentoring program. I think you'd be good at it. You do, do you? Do you know me? He said, I've got a meeting, and I want you to go meet someone. Okay, I'll pay for breakfast. Great, I'm in. So I met him downtown at some little restaurant down there. I'm not familiar with all the restaurants. It was a breakfast restaurant downtown. And it was, and I'm familiar with this program. It's called MBK, which was something I think that Obama started, My Brother's Keeper. And it's about helping young men of color graduate. And so Joe was a part of that. He was a part of the Advent Mentoring Program. And he wanted me to create my sister's keeper. Right? He didn't share that with me. He didn't share that. He just, I just want you to meet a couple people. So we get there to the restaurant, and the guy shows up from MBK, and so we're talking. Joe's looking at me, and he says, "Tell him your history." I'm like, what history? What are you talking about? He goes, she was, and so he just goes into this whole detail about my history. He's read up on me. He knows all about me, and he's sharing that with this guy. And the guy's getting excited about me because Joe's excited. And so we start to work on that. And that's who he is. That's what he brought to the table. He loved big. He loved well. He loved all of us. And he was love in action. Because that's what love actually is. Yeah? It isn't good enough, in my opinion. And we don't shit on people here, so I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying what real love does. Deep love is actionizes. It goes to work. And Joe went to work on everything. One of the big things, and Joe, again, just about him because he's big in this room right now. And he loved full out. The Joe that I knew was no restriction. And I loved him being on the board because, again, I'm new. I've been here long enough now, so we know what to do. But when I first, but when I first got here, and we were talking about some things, and we'd be at the board meeting. We said, "Oh, we need to do this, that, and the other thing." And Joe, here's a secret clue about leadership, and even if you want to, about friendship and relationships and people that you want to be around. So someone walks to you and says, let's have some lunch together. Let's have some lunch. And I'm not necessarily interested. This is there's no action going on, I know it's going to fall. So, okay, yeah, let's do that. Joe, when he said, you know, I think what we need to move forward is whatever he would say. And I would say, Joe, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? What's the next step? Here's what we need to do. He didn't come to you with nonsense. He already had it laid out. So we need the first meeting, and then he actionized his love. He actionized his love. Love and loss cohabit. They live together. Do you understand? You won't suffer loss if you don't love. The reason you suffer is because you have loved, because you do love. If we don't love, we have no real life, because that is life. Loving one another, that is life. There is no love without loss and grief. There just isn't, because nothing is static. Everything moves, everything changes. And we must come to a place where we understand the movement and the flow of love, people, things, in and out of our lives. In and out of our lives. And what we are left with is the memory of the love that they shared with us. When my sister passed away suddenly, I had plans, and this again is part of what I'm talking about, the lack of a future, because we had plans. We were going to take a road trip to New York together. We were going to rent a convertible, just get in the car, and just two black women just get out on the road and see what happens. That's what we were going to do. But that didn't happen. What I am left with, however, every day, all the time, are memories of her horrible taste in gifts. Which, big cats with whiskers coming out of your mouth. Big love, always showing up, everywhere, all the time, someone I could count on. I knew that my sister loved me. She and my mother were my biggest fans. I could go nowhere and step in the room and go, this is my sister. And let me tell you out loud, please don't. But I'm left with those marvelous, marvelous memories and stories. And we get to sit around during family reunion and talk about together those stories. Because that's what keeps them alive. And you may think that this is, it doesn't matter what you think, I'm just going to tell you what's true. I call my sister to me every morning. My sister and I meditate together, and she shares what she wants me to know every single morning. That is the truth. Sometimes I call my dad in, sometimes my mom. Every morning, it's my sister. And we share. That is what we get to do. That is what we get to do. When we share our stories, when we share our experiences with others who loved who we loved, we are united. We are united through this painful and shared experience. It unites us. It does. We have a sense of solidarity with others who are sharing the pain with us. There's a sense of comfort because we are not alone. Green Slave family, you know you are not alone. We understand and we love with you. You're not alone. Jim, you are not alone. We love you and we know. You're not alone. Life is an eternal cycle. It's eternal. Before we came here, we were there. And then we were here in this physical body. And then we go there again. Do you understand? It goes on and on and on. It is eternal. Because we don't see someone in a physical way does not mean that they are not with us. Know that. Life is eternal. The cycle of life is always that. There, here, there, here, there. Always. Always. Life is a journey. I got this yesterday from Glenn, and I loved it when he did the 23rd Psalm. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Yea, though I walk. Meaning that it's not stagnant. Life is a journey. We're walking, we're moving, we're here. Now, we will be there soon. And we come back again. It is a journey. It is not static. There is always movement and flow. That's how life is. That's how life is. And right now, you will always know. Know this. If you don't know it, let me say it, and hopefully that will help you to know. God is with you always. You cannot walk away or step away from God because you are God. Do you understand? You are an individualized expression of God, and so the comfort you need is with you. The comfort you need is always with you. Just reach for it. Just ask for it. Whatever you need, it is with you. Always. It cannot step away. That is the joy of this life. That is the joy of this life. Life is an emotional continuum of love, happiness, and joy, loss, pain, and grief. That is simply life. It's simply life. It's what happens. Without it, we are not living. Without it, we are animals, stone. We are not living a human life and a human experience. And so this is what we do. Yeah, life is a risky business. Love is a risky business. But without it, what do we have? We simply don't have life. We're just marking time when we don't know. And we really don't have that much of a choice in it. We think we do. We think we can armor up. We think we can keep love away. But we can't. It will find you because you are love too. And you are attracting what you need. So love is life. Life without love is marking time. So I'm asking you to live full out with your arms wide open, your heart up, ready for the joy, the happiness, the pain, the grieving, the mourning. Ready for it all, because that is life. And I want to leave you with this one last thing. I believe that this is a message from our loved ones. I do. This is what Jesus said before he left, and I believe it's what Joe would want us to know. I believe it's what Virginia would want you to know, what Linda would want you to know, what my sister, my mother, and all those who have gone past would want us all to know. Peace. I leave you with my peace. I love my peace I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled. Neither let them be afraid. My love and my peace I leave with you. Namaste.